Well, we're going to move on to another insane art. Though articles get, it's important to note, these articles get even worse as it goes on. All right, so going down the rabbit hole of insane articles about this Sweet Baby Inc. Fallout, we go to PCGamer by Harvey Randall. A company called Sweet Baby Inc. has become the target of anti-woke gamers because it offers consultancy work and industry service have been normal for years. Consultants, not tyrants. Again, implying that somebody called them tyrants. So this is, again, they're trying to build a straw man. Oh, Sweet Baby Inc., black helicopters, FBI, woke rays shooting out from the stratosphere. That's what the Sweet Baby, some evil DEI, BlackRock, Carl Schwab, NWO stuff, Alex Jones, InfoWars stuff. That's what they're trying to sort of peg their opposition as, and not, just a guy that made a group called Sweet Baby Inc. detected that Sweet Baby Inc. employees targeted and tried to mass report. Again, this article will not mention at all the fact that someone from that group, someone from Sweet Baby Inc., tried to get the guy that made this lowly guy, with a few thousand followers of this curator, tried to get his account removed and for him to lose access to all his games. They won't tell you this. They won't tell you this because this makes Sweet Baby Inc. look like they're punching down, which they were. They were attacking a guy just for simply saying, hey, I don't like the work Sweet Baby Inc. does. So employees at Sweet Baby Incorporated decided they wanted to try to get this guy to lose his Steam group and his account and access to, probably hundreds of dollars, maybe even thousands of dollars worth of games. But again, let's move on back to the PC Gaming article because they will not tell you that. So if you're gently confused as to why everyone would be upset at an allegedly Sweet Baby, you're certainly not alone. Yeah. Guys, if you think that this is crazy, that people getting mad at employees for trying to cancel just some guy over making a group, you're not alone. I'm just as confused as you are. What's going on with this crazy stuff over at Sweet Baby Inc.? As per Kotaku, we're going to get to the Kotaku article next. I'm just kind of going down in orders of how crazy I think the articles are. So we're kind of saving the best for last. So apologize for that. But we will get to the Kotaku article because they mention it. Kotaku came out first, and then everyone sort of decided to let's get in on this, and we'll put our own little piece to build the narrative up. Since yesterday, Steam Group has picked up traction with over 70,000 members. At the time of writing, it's called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, as if to warn discerning customers of invasive DRM or something, which, yeah, it is invasive, but it's not DRM, it's just crappy writing and crappy characters. Instead of warning against potentially sketchy software, though, these concerned gamers have instead perceived a rising tide of ideology that's somehow taken over the industry by force. Yes, again, they want to try to make their opposition look as crazy as possible, rather than just acknowledge the fact that an ideology has taken over a gaming. It's not by force, it's by people slowly weaseling in, women weaseling in the industry, slowly trying to use journalists as weapons, as we can see. Let's see now. Well, again, let's play this again.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups. And if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them
yeah,
with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
They don't give you what you want. We're going to leak it out. Just let them know, hey, maybe a journalist will get a hold of this and, say that your character in your newest game is really offensive. And we're going to have PC Gamer, we're going to have Eurogamer, we're going to have PC Gamer, we're going to have Kotaku, we're going to have The Guardian all of a sudden a bunch of pieces are going to come out about how bad your character is because you didn't hire this consultancy team to make this character more authentic and more understanding. So you better do that, or something, that could happen to you. Let's just terrify your marketing team into getting these people in this in to consult. And you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to take what they're saying. You don't have to do what they're saying. But I mean, if you don't, something could happen. There could be an article by Eurogamer, PCGamer, Kotaku, The Guardian. They might all put out pieces saying that your game is insensitive and racist. But you don't have to do it. You're not forced to do it. But, it could happen. It's just a possibility. So anyway, let's move on. No one's being forced here. No one's being forced. And in some ways, people are definitely on board to make these games worse for the primary demographic. Kotaku senior editor spoke to a handful of members of the group Discord who are primarily concerned about ideological worldviews that I believe have taken hold of Western world media and gaming as a whole, and that race and identity group quotas, DEI, in other words, the kind of stuff that crash an entire fleet of gamers, that cause an entire fleet of gamers to construct their own anti-woke sci-fi convention, rally against power-starving console features, that there were a big statement on climate change, or start a lengthy Twitter thread about how accurately rendered alloy with the usual amount of hair a woman has on her face. To others, these people are crazy. They're ridiculous. Hey, Silver Bishop, good to see you, man. The situation grew in scale as some Sweet Baby employees, frustrated at the idea of a curated specific list made to avoid gamers they had worked on, acknowledged the group on social media. While this tweet has been removed, one employee also discovered and shared the group curator's Twitter account. Notice this right here. This whole thing grew in scale. So you've been frustrated at the idea of a curated list specifically made to avoid games they had worked on, acknowledged the group's social media presence. While the tweet has been removed, one employee also discovered and shared the group curator's Twitter account. Not just the group curator's Twitter account, their Steam account. And what they fail to mention, a very big thing, is when they say, report the creator since he loves his account so much. Report this group. They don't seem to mention this at all. It's so weird that they wouldn't acknowledge this. They acknowledge the fact that there was Sweet Baby employees. They also, what they don't do here, they say the situation already grew, that it wasn't happening, that the problem was already there, that when in reality it was this. It's Chris Kindred right here that caused this whole thing. Felix and Chris are entirely at fault for setting this in motion. Sweet Baby Inc. was nothing. It had 5,000 something followers, 6,000 followers beforehand. But then they had to told people to report this group, mass report it, and then that is where everything took off. So regardless of your opinion on that, it should be noted that Steam's guidelines for this sort of thing prohibits insults, harassment, and discrimination. The creators and members of the groups are responsible for ensuring that they adhere to all guidelines above. It can be argued that the anti-Sweet Baby group is violating said guidelines. That's insane. There is nothing in this group that is in a violation of their guidelines. All they're saying is they don't recommend this game. This company worked on it, and because of that, I don't recommend it, because it most likely, considering the work Sweet Baby Inc. does, it's not good. If the developer thinks bringing Sweet Baby Inc. into their game to work on their game is a good idea, then the video game is probably not good. It's probably not, because they're clearly putting some sort of representation, this sort of bizarre character design, this diverse, quote unquote, and look, again, diverse, All this means is unappealing to men, is essentially what it means. So, hey, this game probably has a bunch of characters like blind death girls that are totally unappealing to men that nobody wants to do missions for. So, anyway, let's move on. Crazy. This is just crazy. Again, crazy. It probably is violating the guidelines, what Harvey's trying to say. Sweet Baby employees maintain that overall their job is to provide assistance to the company that already want to improve already existing diverse elements. So again, this kind of proves that Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is a legit group. I mean, first of all, they're saying that it could be argued that it's violating. And then in the next paragraph, they go on to essentially prove why Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is a good idea. Companies already want to improve already existing diverse elements. As per the company CEO Kim Blair, but the perspective is never that they were coming in and injecting diversity. For the most part, it's the reverse. It's that a company has created a character that they want to make that character more representative and more interesting. To the uninitiated observer who gets riled up over Starfield daring to let you they, them in space, Sweet Baby might very well represent everything terrible about video games in the modern era, which it does. But in case you aren't like that, I feel obligated to lay out an explanation. And then we're going to explain what consultancy is. Sweet Baby is a narrative development company, a consultancy studio. It designs narratives. Team A has an idea that may already have an outline of their story, a core gameplay loop. Maybe they got a whole script and a playable build. Either way, something's missing, and they come in and they sort of help work it out. An underbaked character, the team knows something wrongs, but they don't know how to identify or fix it. Empathetically states Sweet Baby has actually no say on what makes it into the final game. If that team disagrees with it, that team doesn't take the note. It's really that simple. Yes, it's really that simple.
And just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
They don't have to take it.
With the possibility, terrify them.
Just terrify them.
With the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
They don't have to take the note, though. To rephrase the obvious, Sweet Baby is about as capable of forcing a game developer to make a grand sweeping changes to its story and character as a contracted artist, musician, or catering company staff. Yeah, catering, just as a catering company staff working for office birthdays is. Again, ridiculous. What is this ridiculousness? Yeah, it's just the cater. They're just capable of making changes as the janitor cleaning up trash. That's how unimportant they are. Then why would someone pay what I assume a 100K? Who knows what they're? I assume it's like 100K plus to bring these people in and consult. But yeah, they're just as capable of making changes as the catering staff. In a sense, Sweet Baby's work is literally a non-event, not in the sense that it's unimportant. I mean, the work is so normal that it surprises no one. Yeah, and that's true. It is very normal nowadays to make video games worse for its primary demographic. But let's see. Picking a fight doesn't matter who. Let's kind of move on. We've been talking about. I need to step things up. We're going a little bit too long, but there it is. That's the whole thing, folks. If you're against games with inclusive cast or what have you, it's growing harder to toe that particular line. So it's even proven, not that they need to, that they can be both good and bad in ways that any game can be. Yeah, but here's what you're missing out, is that this inclusive, quote unquote, which again, inclusive and diverse, just means stuff like this. This ugly, pig-faced woman. That's what that means. So yes, it makes it worse for the people playing the game, men playing the game, when you decide to be more inclusive by making your character ugly. It's hard to say, for example, that non-heterosexual folks like myself, again, of course, this is where Harvey decides to make it about himself, are ruining video games when Baldur's Gate 3 is inherently supportive of queer players and just so happens to be one of the best RPGs in a decade. Yeah, in spite of that. In spite of it. It could be even better if they kind of left a lot of that stuff out or even had it and just, really made... I think Baldur's Gate, again, I haven't played it, so I don't know, but I think they still include enough that's appealing to heterosexual men to make it fun for them as well. Like stuff like people loved Mass Effect and it still had options for like same-sex romance. People didn't care because they still had good stuff in there for men. And that's one of the things that's sort of left out. If you first of all make it appealing towards men and then kind of add stuff in on the periphery like it should be, if you wanted to kind of include some of those messages, then do it. But when you, again, stuff like this, I'll bring Ally up again. This is your main character. This is your face of your franchise. When you do that, when you make her unappealing to men, purposely, in order to make her seem stronger, then that's when people have a problem with it. I mean, that's literally the face of the franchise right there. The face of the franchise. It's insane. Meanwhile, Korea's making this the face of the franchise. A beautiful woman that's clearly appealing to men. They could have like 10 gay characters in it, and people wouldn't care because they know, first and foremost, they're being appealed to. That they're cared about. The people care about this audience and want to make a good game for them. If Stellar Blade had, again, black characters, gay characters, they could have all of that in it. But first and foremost, you just give them a bone. You give your primary audience a little bone here and there. That's enough to keep them happy. But they can't do it. They cannot do this. And that's the issue with things like Sweet Baby Inc. and the companies that hire them. So it's far easier to believe that some insidious outside influence is sneaking into the Kabbalist. This is ridiculous. This guy's, hey, I can write, guys, so let me paint the people as ridiculous. Sinking into a Kabbalist sliver tendrils into your favorite hobby, rather than admitting that most gamers don't. Rather than admit that most gamers don't actually care, they do care. A lot of times and stuff like Baldur's Gate, it's like whatever. And there's some people that like Starfield, like, oh, the pronouns thing, whatever. It's kind of annoying, but I don't really care as long as the game's good. Yeah, most gamers don't care. As long as the game is good. The other stuff is periphery. It's a simple sell to invent a version of a company that's somehow forcing people at metaphorical gunpoint to turn the versatile rather than just being a server that's clearly useful for some developers telling certain kind of stories. And let's bring it on.
Go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Yep. No gunpoint. No gun there. Just subtle threats. And a media that is far too willing to enable those threats.